Hi, I'm Kim, and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. Before I get going with this video, I just want to take a moment to thank our friend Kansas Gal very much for your donation to our channel's PayPal account. Over and over again, my videos are getting demonetized, so your contributions really do help. Now, over and over again, victims have said to me, I just miss the good times. I just long for those good times again, and I certainly felt that way. I want to talk about the good times with a narcissist today. Of course, when a narcissist first targets you, you are immediately submerged in this whirlwind romance, this love bombing chapter of the relationship. The love bombing continues and it moves quickly into the idealization phase, and victims tend to be completely swept up in this. Of course, when a victim is initially targeted, their thoughts become that of, wow, I'm so important to this person. They really care about me. And that's because the narcissist is so focused on the target. They're focused on the target because they are trying to learn as much as they can about the target, because of course they are then going to create this false self, a replica of the victim, and then once they've established who you are, what you like, where your passions lie, they are going to create a fake self, mirror you, a fake self really created in your image, and present that back to you. Now, I've talked about this lots, and I think it's no wonder victims fall for this. The idea that you've met your soulmate, someone just like you, someone who shares all your interests, hobbies, and passions, I mean, it's a dream come true. So it is a pretty big hook. As you're being lured into this narcissistic trap, of course, there's all this ether and romance and crazy love, and it's so intense and it's moving so quickly, victims will just get swept right off their feet, falling headfirst down the narc rabbit hole. Narcissists are more often than not very deviant sexual predators. Now, this will cause the feeling that you're involved in this really intense, romantic, loving relationship. The sex is great. You're being swept off your feet. You've been led to believe that, the sun shines off of you for this person. And once you're caught up in that, it really does create almost a hypnotic type state. And every moment of this, though most victims in retrospect will say they saw plenty of problems with this, they saw plenty of red flags, but because the ether is just moving around them, they really do get swept off their feet and tend to ignore the red flags. But what this is, of course, is the greatest deception that you will be exposed to within the entire relationship, because this is the trap. This is what initially gets you hooked into all of this. So though it truly is the worst part of the whole relationship, it is what initiated the entire thing. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like the most intense and incredible loving time of your life. And it is this that creates the illusion of the good times. I'm going to go a little farther and say that the illusion really now appears to be more of a hypnotic state. And the reason I know that I was under the influence of a hypnotic state is because since getting free, of course, I remember very clearly the day that illusion broke, the day that that hypnotic state burst, and I could see things much more clearly. And for those of you who are still caught up in the ether and have not yet shattered that illusion, it's coming, and you too will immediately recognize that you had been under a hypnotic influence, and that may not happen until that hypnotic state breaks for you. But for those of you who've had it happen, I'm sure you can identify with what I'm saying. Certainly now in retrospect, I recognize that the good times were actually the biggest deception of them all. But the illusion of the good times, of this wild romance, this being swept off my feet, drowning in the ether of love, really stuck with me. So throughout the relationship, man, there were many times when I would be laying in bed at night beside Creepy thinking, oh my God, I got to get out of here. Oh my God, what's happening? I mean, I feel crazy. I feel sick, brokenhearted. And I'm thinking, I got to get out of here. Yet I felt almost this obsessive compulsive draw to rekindle the good times. And though I left many times, I think what I was doing, and of course you don't know what you're doing when you're in it, but once you get out, and I've been out for several years now, when I look back on that, and try and make sense of my own crazy behavior, I think I was going back to the place where the love had been lost to find the love. And I think this is very much a part of human nature. Like when you think about just basic behaviors, if I would be out shopping and I went to a couple of stores and all of a sudden, I get to the parkade and I've got to pay my parking and I realize, oh my God, my wallet's missing. I'm going to go back to the last place I remember having my wallet. When I misplace my keys in the house, I stop and I think, okay, where's the last place I saw my keys? And surely that's where you're going to find your keys. And I think it's that same kind of concept, like where's the last place I saw my love? And for me, the last place where I saw the love was with Trevor in Trevor's House of Pain. And I think I was returning to the scene of the crime, looking for love in the very place I had lost the love. But even more than that, when the abuse started and I really needed the abuse to stop, it was the abuser I kept going to, looking to make sense of it, looking for him to stop it or looking for him to validate me or apologize or just fix it somehow. And I think it's this human nature, just basic human nature, to look for something in the place you lost it. But for us, it really is a matter of just returning to the scene of the crime over and over and over again. But back to this concept of this deceptive good times, because that's what it really is. The good times were nothing more than a deception. But when I stop now and really think about what were those good times, because walking away from the good times was a stumbling block for me, as it is for many of you. I hear this over and over again in emails and during Skype conversations. Oh, I just miss the good times. I just miss the good times. Well, what were those good times? I'm going to tell you straight up, for me, a good day was a day when the house didn't catch fire, a day when you didn't call me names, a day when we could get through, 8 hours of work without something odious happening. My standards have been lowered so badly as the love bombing ends and as the idealization ends and we find ourselves very quickly in a phase of devaluation. I do believe that our standards just tank. We become so accustomed to the abuse, the name calling, the shaming, the humiliation, the ridiculous accusations against us, this constantly having to defend ourselves, living on eggshells. Like, it's just all so horrible that a day when it's not that bad almost seems like a good time. There were some nights I would go to bed thinking, oh, that was a great day. Looking back on that, it wasn't a great day at all. If you can get through a day where your partner didn't, call you a whole bunch of horrible names, hit you, spit on you, put you down, shame you, humiliate you, accuse you of having an affair with the neighbor, the mailman, your coworkers, if those things don't happen in a day, it's not really a good day. It's just a day that you weren't too badly brutalized. I think each of us enters into these relationships with some very basic expectations. Kind of this inherited belief system that we would never be with someone who lied to us. We wouldn't want a partner that was deceptive or cheated on us. We wouldn't tolerate being hit or spit on or called names. And I think we enter into these relationships with those expectations intact. But as time goes on and we're moving through these, cycles of the narcissistic abuse, the love bombing, the idealization, the devaluing, and now the dumping, our expectations just get lower and lower and lower until an average day really starts to seem great. A day where you weren't too badly brutalized, could potentially seem like a good time. So if you're sitting there today feeling that obsessive compulsive pull to rekindle the good times, do a little exploration and think about what a good day really looked like. Most people, when confronted with this question, what did a good day with the narcissist really look like? Most of them will discover that, well, it wasn't a good day at all. It was just a day that was slightly better than a really, really horrible day. You start breaking down a victim's overwhelming feeling of loss when you consider that you were targeted, that this creature has no capacity for love or empathy or to be kind or to, really connect with you. When you consider all of the abuse and, then you come to the realization that the good times really didn't exist at all. There is nothing to lose. If you're sitting there today pondering, whether or not you should leave, whether or not you should try a little harder. Just think about some of this and really take a look at what a good time means for you, because you may find that the good times aren't that good at all. Guys, I love you lots. I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV, and I hope you're having a great narc-free day.